Hey, it's Paul from howtoplaybassdotcom. In today's lesson we're going to look at the song Lady Marmalade by Labelle. The original bass line was played by George Porter Jr. of the Meters. It's a reasonably easy bass line, good one for beginners. The main thing to take away, or the main learning from this, apart from learning the song itself of course, is you've got this riff, which we'll look at more closely in a minute, or this 2-bar pattern, whatever you want to call it. And as a bass player playing this song, our job is to get that riff, get it right, nail it every time, and provide a foundation for everyone else in the band to do their thing. This is a real vocal number, really good platform for your vocalists to belt out a bit, stretch out, strut their stuff, do their thing. And if you drop away with that foundation and that riff or 2-bar pattern, you'll cause them problems, which will then weaken the whole structure of the song. So although it's fairly simple, as bass players, and I've talked about this before, there are times and certain songs where we've just got to take what's there and deliver it faithfully, and deliver it all the time, so that everyone can rely on us and they can build upon the foundation that we lay. That's part of our job, and that's what you've got to do with this song. Now, before we go and look at how to play that 2-bar riff pattern, if you're not already subscribed to my free monthly easy, click the link underneath the video and head over to my website and subscribe. As a thank you for subscribing, there'll be a series of song tutorials in video and PDF format that will come out over the next week or so via email. Plus there's a song tutorial every month, again video and PDF format. All this material is exclusive to people who've subscribed. It just costs your email address. So go and do that, and then come back here and we'll go and start looking at that riff. Okay, you just heard the intro for Lady Marmalade. It's got this 2-bar pattern that is the hook of the song, and the song's built around. Once you've mastered this 2-bar pattern, you've got probably 85% of the song. Played slowly, it's okay, so it's pretty straightforward. So we go through the notes: G, D, F, B flat, F, G, C. I'll go through the locations. So the locations starts off G, 3rd fret of the E string, D, the 5th fret of the A string, F, the 3rd fret of the D string, B flat, the 3rd fret of the G string, back to F at the 3rd fret of the D string, to G at the 5th fret of the D string, to C, the 3rd fret of the A string. So G, D, F, B flat, F, G, C. And that B flat there, the minor 10th, is held for it sounds on the and of beat 2, and it's held over onto beat 3 as well. And then that's the other note we need to throw in. There's a note, as kind of a stab on beat 4 of the 2nd bar. So it's a 2-bar pattern. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, etc. So that then, from the intro, goes into the verse. Again, the verse and kind of the chorus section, which we're going to treat as one, are built around that riff. And there's a couple of little, there's one variation, and there's a couple of little extra bits to factor in to get through the verse and the chorus. So we'll go and do that next, and we'll look at the verse and the chorus. heard the verse and the chorus being played with the MIDI file I've programmed. Starts off, repeats the riff twice. So we've already done this in the intro. Then we've got a bar of C, and if you're playing this live, you could play the rhythm that you would play would be dictated by the drummer. What I've played here is just and then up to D. Those are the 3rd and 5th frets of the A and the D string. You've got a bar of C to a bar of D. Then you're back to the riff. Riff 3 times, but the 3rd time we don't play that C on beat 4. Leave the whole bar, and then you've got C is stab on beat 1, and that's the bar where we've got the riff. And what we're going to play for the riff, so you've got the stab of C on beat 1, and then the riff starts on the and of beat 4 of that bar, playing G, F, D, C, B flat, C, B flat, D. So it's G, 5th fret of the D string, F, the 3rd fret of the D string, D, the 5th fret of the A string, C, the 3rd fret of the A string, B flat, the 6th fret of the E string, back to C, the 3rd fret of the A string, back to B flat, the 6th fret of the E string, finish on D, the 5th fret of the A string. So that's pretty much the verse pattern. That then repeats. You've got verse 2. Then after verse 2, you go straight into a kind of little bridge section, which starts off with kind of a reprise of the horn riff. So we're going to look at that section next, which will be the bridge. The bridge section of the tune, this is where the brass plays. We start off with the riff, then we're into the kind of main part of the thing. So the riff's the same as we just covered. It's G, F, D, C, B flat, C, B flat, D. Then we go into 2 bars of E flat, and again I'm playing a simple rhythm. That's the 6th fret of the A string. We go up to G, 5th fret of the D string. Now for all these sections you could play something rhythmically more intense. Would depend on what your drummer's playing. So I've left it's pretty open. You're not playing the riff. You can pretty much play any rhythm you want, but bear in mind that you need to have room to build up at the last couple of bars, which leads us back into the verse, which we'll do in a second. So we've got 2 bars of E flat, 2 bars of G. We've got another 2 bars of E flat, again 6th fret of the A string, and then we've got these last 2 bars which are in D, and we've got those in the 2nd bar. So the first bar is just 8th notes, D, the 5th fret obviously of the A string, and then the last bar of this section, if you know the song or listened carefully to the play along that I did at the start of this little section of the tutorial, those D notes just match the drum hits, and everyone hits them, and then that sets up verse 3, and you go straight back into the riff and bring in verse 3. Now there's a small format variation in verse 3, so we'll go and check that out. Okay, so verse 3, just heard it being played with the MIDI file. It's got a slightly different format. First up, we've got 2 times through this 2-bar pattern. Then we've got a bar of C as before, a bar of D as before. Then we've got 2 bars of D inserted, and we're going to play them in 1/8 notes. But what you've got to do is you've got to start off, you've got to vary your level. So your level's got to start off down here, and then you've got to bring it to a climax. And then back and play that section again. So 2 riff, 2 times through the 2-bar pattern, to C, to D, and then the 2-bar thing again. And then you beat into the riff. Play it twice normally, and then on the 3rd time you play the C on the downbeat, not on the beat 4, and you've got the riff. That riff down, and then when you come out of that section, as you have just heard, there's a breakdown section where you're just playing. So you're playing G on the downbeats, which is the 3rd fret of the E string, and you're playing C on the and of 4 of that same bar, and then you're leaving a bar pause. And you play that pattern 4 times, and then after the 4th time you've played it through, you're back into the original pattern again, which again drives the song. On the original, I think there's just a fade out from there, just vamping on that pattern. If you're playing this live, it leads very nicely to everyone ending with the. But the last time, rather than going to D, which is a dominant approach note, to the G that comes back in on the riff, the last time you'd finish on the actual root note, which would be G, 3rd fret of the E string. So that. Fairly straightforward. You put the parts together, be able to get through Lady Marmalade. Nice, fun song to play through. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I'll catch you with the next tutorial.